In today's podcast, I'm going to be talking about fundamentally being broken and how the method of the no comfort zone came to be. I'm your host, Dan Brzezowski. Enjoy the podcast.
Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
So when I knew I was actually fundamentally broken from the inside, and that's the reason why I was getting all these negative results in my life, I made a commitment that I was going to fix this once and for all. So in order to do that, I had to go back through my past. I had to go through my history and find out why I made the decisions I made. And when I realized that I was making emotional decisions, I realized that these emotional decisions that I was making were negatively impacting my future. Although they were Band-Aids in the meantime to make me feel a little better, reality was that I was just making one bad mistake, one bad compounded decision on top of another. So now it's in August of 2017, and I realize that, man, I'm going to go through my whole life not mastering me. I'm going to get through this whole life, and I'm going to be stuck in average, my version of average, not your version or anybody else's, but my version of average. My potential is, I have an idea what my potential is. It's limitless, but on the surface, I've been successful based on other people's standards. I've also failed a lot by other people's standards. So I had to get rid of everyone else's standards or living that way and realize that if I'm going to do this, I have to do this to my standards. What's my standards? And my standards were basically, I try to reach for comfort at any chance I get at adversity. I hate dealing with adversity. Who does? So what I ended up doing was I committed to this thing that, okay, I realize that I'm screwed up. Fundamentally, I'm broken. I know the right things to do, yet I choose not to do the right thing. And over time, I know that I want to correct this. So what do I have to do? With intensity, I had to commit to a beginning date and an end date. I think it was, maybe I even said 30 days in the beginning. I'm not sure. It's been a long time. But I know that after a 60-day time period from point A, where I started, and how broken and beat up I was, even though, again, I can't stress this enough, everybody else would think that I would be successful from the outside. I mean, position-wise, where I was at work, I was there, but I was miserable. Relationship-wise, I was very happy with where I was at in my relationship. However, I wasn't being the husband that I knew I should be to my wife, meaning I wasn't passionate. Let's just call it what it is. I wasn't passionate, and I know I needed to correct that. Financially, I know that I don't want to say I was living check to check anymore, but I was definitely concerned that I was running out of month. My month was, I didn't have enough paycheck to cover my month. I had money to put aside and stuff, but I chose not to do that. Just a bad situation all around. And then health-wise, I let myself go. I tacked on 30 pounds when I used to be fit. I talk about it a lot, but when you want to change everything about your life, it's really time to do that. It's time to commit. And when I finally committed that I'm going to wake up super early in the morning, a lot earlier than I have been, at 4:55 in the a.m., that was the no comfort zone. 5 o'clock was, I need to start waking up. But you know what? Really uncomfortable was 4:55. And then I documented the process and what I was going through. And it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. It was not easy. It was hard getting up. It was hard getting, running in place. It was hard starting to exercise. But the mornings that I would actually do it, which was every morning, I started to notice after about 3 weeks I was changing. And right at about the 4-week mark, when I realized that I was gaining traction with losing weight, I was gaining traction with my finances, I was starting to feel more engaged at work, my relationship was becoming more passionate. All of this stuff was compounded on each other. It synergistically helped the next thing that I was doing. And I would document this. I was like, man, this is really going to push me. So I think I went another 30 days. So the first 30 days was really for me. The next 30 days was for everybody else. And that's when I just decided to get way out of my comfort zone and start helping other people. And at the end of the journey, when I look back at how much I saved, how much I've lost weight-wise, passion levels increased, workflow increased, engagement at work, relationships increased, and I realized now I committed to live my life. I realized what my life was all about. And I found out what my purpose was. It's to help other people get through this point. So when you talk about the no comfort zone, and when we reference what it is, it's really a time period that I went through of a commitment and a discipline of what I was going to willing to do for myself to get myself to feel like I was worthwhile again, to feel like my life was worthwhile again. And I'll tell you what, I want everyone to experience it. So I went from lack of confidence, lack of self-esteem. I went from all those lack areas that I'm not good enough in any of these areas to at the end of this time period, I'm like, wow, I'm good. I don't need anyone else's approval. I don't need to know what anyone else's definition of success is. I just know what my failures were, and I didn't want to fail anymore. When I'm by myself and I look at what failures are, whether people acknowledged my failures or not, I realized that I was actually a fraud. That the person I was saying I wasn't. And now is where I committed to actually make that what I was saying, I got to start doing. And when those two met together with my intention, man, it's just so magical. And I want everyone to experience that. So if you're in a situation in your life where you're lacking some confidence, you're lacking the promotion, you just lack in any area, you just don't feel right. You feel like there's so much more to life. And I'm telling you, what you need to do is you need to go to launchwithdan.com. Launchwithdan.com. Let's get it on paper. I'll call you. Get on my calendar. I will call you. We'll go through some things that are going on in your life. We'll look at where your goals are at. And if you don't have them, we'll put down a few goals. If the conversation ends at that, you are going to be in a better place. You've got some goals that you can look at. 1, 2, 3 goals. Let's go. If you need help getting those goals faster, well, that's what I'm here for. But really, you're at the time in your life where you really should ask yourself, do you want to keep living this way every day for the rest of your life? Or do you want to start living in accomplishment? Because when you go to launchwithdan.com, you're going to start to experience accomplishment. And that's what you need in your life is accomplishment. Because when you have a little bit of accomplishment and you actually start, you write your goals down, you have accomplishment, you start to do the activities that you need in order to get there, you get that momentum. What's going to happen is you're going to start to develop a better self-esteem. You're going to start to have confidence. You're going to go to conviction. And then, it's all about certainty after that. And that's what I want to do is I want to help you get there. So if you think this resonates with you and if you think you're at that point in your life and you're saying to yourself, you know what, I know what he's talking about, I can relate. Man, seriously, launchwithdan.com, get on the calendar, let me call you, and we'll go from there. Hey, this is the part of the podcast where I tell you exactly what you need to do, and here it goes. Today's the day that you need to get out of your comfort zone so that you can live on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.